what would you like to see IOG, Emurgo, and the Cardano Foundation do in order to help support small community pools? What would you like to see them do?
Maybe Amanda can take that one.
Okay. It would be nice if they would, when they're going to take their pools off and distribute maybe a little bit into smaller pools. I get this like imagery of like a defibrillator, kind of like, help me because I'm dying. But if they were in the smaller pools, I don't know, maybe 5 million or something for the smaller pools, at least that would give them a fighting chance to enter into the lottery. And then once they're given a chance to make a block or show that they're actually able to perform and make a block, it shows delegators that this pool is not broken and it's capable. Stay there for a few epochs so that they can perform at their best before moving on to others. But distributing to the smaller ones and so that they can live, that would be helpful.
Amanda, do you have any? Amanda, what do you think the process should be? Because there are 1,000 pools and counting. How randomized should the process be? Because I'm sure that, as we grow, there are going to be more and more, and it's probably going to hit 2,000 pools at some point. Mm-hmm. How do they pick how do they choose? How should they choose?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't want to answer that. So, I mean, like maybe small pools like apply. Maybe they'll just put out like a call, like, do you, and then they just do so many pools every few epochs, epochs, whatever. But yeah, like I know that the Spocker group is putting stuff together too. Like they're trying to make a list of who they want to recommend. But also I don't really know how they're putting that list together either. So, but yeah, like the pool operators can just be like engaging and just paying attention to that time and make sure that they catch that wave if it comes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, picking which one to delegate to is going to be difficult for them. I think the number one barrier they have right now is the logistics of performing 1,000 delegations, or basically taking 2 billion ADA and parsing it out into 1,000 wallets, right? Mm-hmm. There's a serious risk with doing that. And I think that's why multi-pool delegation is extremely high priority right now on being able to delegate one wallet to multiple pools. That is a high priority. Mm-hmm. Thoughts, William?
So I think I would stretch away from what they could do specifically for me to maybe what they could do for the community. And, there's several other cryptocurrencies that are 3rd generation blockchain, different protocols, helping create a concise elevator pitch of why Ouroboros is better than, or helping the marketing side for people to identify with Cardano, creating your tribe. We are Cardano. What does that mean? Getting people into the ecosystem. That's by and far going to have the biggest effect in the long run. And all of the small pools, large pools will be fine. We just need the community to move together.
Yeah, if the value of ADA rises, then the K parameter can rise. You can't just arbitrarily raise the K parameter. If you raise the K parameter, that will support smaller pools. And when we say smaller, just pools of lower stake. So I think that's a good big picture view, William. I like that. Is market the entire system. I think it's also important for them to support smaller pools because they're holding pre-mined ADA, right? So until D equals 0, I think there should be a delegation rotation of that pre-mined ADA between Emurgo, IOG, and the Cardano Foundation. It should extend for some period of time past D equals 0. So I don't know how they should do the rotation, but I got a pretty good idea of how long it should go on for. And I'm thinking it should go on for at least 3 months after D equals 0. And then after that, stake it to your own pools or whatever. I don't care. But
Rick,
as long as you're sitting on pre-mined data, it's a good idea.
I agree with you, Rick, but I have a follow-up question because IOG is moving their funds to Coinbase custody at the end of the year. So this access to the liquidity of ADA to actually multi-pledge delegate is probably going to expire at the end of the year, because I don't foresee Coinbase custody holding IOG funds and then delegating to small pools. They're going to maximize the returns for their client. And I think that as time progresses and the price increases, more of that locked ADA, or that ADA that IOG controls, or Emurgo or the Cardano Foundation, is going to be less accessible to the community. So I don't know what the long-term viability of that is.
Yeah. Well, I think that, the community, the three entities, it's the Cardano Foundation, Emurgo, and IOHK, especially in the beginning, need to support the network and put aside, sort of their return maximization. Because if you have a network where majority of stake is controlled by 3 or 4 entities, you have a problem. And add to that the exchanges, then you have a real problem. So in order for this network to survive, you kind of have to nurture the small pools so that they get known, they get exposure to actually attract on their own and be sustainable. And once that happens, then they can pull out their stake. They will always be able to make more money, but they have one shot in terms of making this thing work. Because if the ecosystem dies in terms of, we have 1,000 pools and we are blessed, to be honest with you, in that respect. Yes, we might have 2,000 pools. Eventually, we will have to converge into a number that will be good depending on the level of K, whether it be 500 or 1,000. But until we get there, we need to support pools. It's a good question logistically how you do it, but I definitely know that we need to do it, because otherwise you end up with all these other coins that have like 4 or 5, 6 players actually taking up the whole space. Because in Ouroboros, in Cardano, you're not limited by how many pools you create. So and nobody knows if you're behind pool A, pool B. You could just rebrand, and the same low fees or whatever, like 1%. You could just basically name it something else and run it and then market it. And when you do that, you effectively centralize yourself, or at least create an oligopoly, which is not good. Yeah.
And Umit, I would like to finish this question up by kind of turning the question around. I think G, Emurgo, and CF, what can they do in order to support small pools? Can you still hear me okay? I keep getting bad internet hits. But
okay.
Is marketing. I think we got the tech side down. Okay. Do the pool operators know how to operate pools? Yes, they do. Is the software stable? Yes, it's stable. This Haskell is so stable. Anyone who operated Jormungandr, you probably have post-Jormungandr stress disorder. You're just waiting for your node to crash, right? And then you realize, you know what? On Haskell, my node hasn't crashed yet. It just keeps running and running and running. All right. So what do small pool operators need the most? They need marketing skills, because right now they don't have many. The weakest point I see in the entire pool operator system is marketing skills. And I'm going to give you an example. I see pool operators who put their pool ticker in their Twitter handle, right? Then they go on Twitter and they complain and they complain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the worst marketing you could possibly do, is to put your ticker in your name, or your entire name is your ticker, and then you go on Twitter and complain. That's like, nobody does that.
Yeah. It doesn't sell. Yeah.
It's the reverse of marketing. So if IOG and Emurgo wanted to help, is teach the pool operators how to market, because that's the weak point. We have 1,000 pool operators we've got 1,000 techies, but
And
we
what
only got 50 or 100 marketers out there. People who use art, they use music, they use humor, they use positivity, like Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's a funny Twitter account right there. All right. So marketing, that's how IOG Emurgo CF can help, is hold a marketing workshop. Here's how you market your pools. You know, I did a video on it, on how to market your pool, but I was pretty brutal, right? It's a brutal video. People probably watch and go, man, that guy's a jerk. I don't want to watch his video.